Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper Math P3 Variant 2 February-March 2018. Let's get started. Explain why these rectangles are mathematically similar. When we divide the corresponding sides of the two rectangles, we get the same value, so they are mathematically similar. How many times bigger is the area of the large rectangle than the area of the small rectangle? To get this number, we divide the area of the large rectangle by the area of the small rectangle. The area of the large rectangle is 4.5 times 7.5 centimeters squared, and the area of the small rectangle is 1.5 times 2.5 centimeters squared. This gives us 9. The diagram shows a net of a cube. The square labeled B is the base. Write the letter T in the square, that is the top of the cube. We know the base would be connected directly to the other four sides of the cube. These two faces share an edge with the base, so they form the side faces of the cube. This edge of the base connects with this edge of this face, so this is the third side face of the cube. This edge of the third side face connects to this edge of this face, so this is the fourth side face. Now that we've identified the four side faces, then this face is the top of the cube. On the grid, draw a different net of this cube. We start by drawing the base of the cube. The base would be connected directly to the four side faces. We can connect the top of the cube to any of these four sides. In this case, we connected it to the bottom. The diagram shows a cuboid. Work out the surface area of this cuboid. Here is the formula for the surface area of a cuboid. We've been given the length L of the cuboid to be 6 centimeters, the width W is 3 centimeters, and the height H is 4 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 108 centimeters squared. Work out the volume of this cuboid. Here is the formula for the volume of a cuboid. L is 6 centimeters, W is 3 centimeters, and H is 4 centimeters. This gives us 72 centimeters cubed. Write down the dimensions of a different cuboid that has the same volume as this cuboid. The product of the dimensions of this cuboid must also be 72. So one possible set of dimensions for this cuboid would be 9 centimeters by 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. 9 times 4 times 2 gives us 72. Each of 196 candidates has a candidate number from 3001 to 3196. The candidates sit in numerical order in columns and rows as shown in the diagram. There are 20 rows. The diagram shows part of the plan for where the candidates sit. The diagram shows where candidates A and B sit. Write down their numbers. In each row, the terms have a constant difference of 20. So to get the number for candidate A, we add 20 to 3023, which gives us 3043. To get the number for candidate B, we add 20 to 3041, which gives us 3061. Complete this statement. Candidate 3135 sits in column blank, row blank. If candidate 3121 is in row 1 of column 7, then candidate 3135 would be in column 7 because the candidate number in row 1 of column 8 would be 3141. If we count 14 units above row 1 of column 7, we get to 3135, which would be in row 15. Candidate C sits in column N, row 1. Find an expression in terms of n for the number of candidate C. The numbers in each row, including row 1, have a constant difference of 20 between them, so we can use this formula to get the nth term. A1, which is the first number, is 3001. D, which is the common difference, is 20. When we expand the brackets, 20 times n is 20n. 20 times -1 is -20. When we group like terms, 3001 minus 20 is 2981. So we have 20n plus 2981. The geography examination lasts for 1 hour 40 minutes. Harry is allowed 25% extra time for his geography examination. Work out the total time Harry has for this examination. Give your answer in hours and minutes. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 1 hour 40 minutes is 60 plus 40 minutes, which is 100 minutes. Since Harry is given 25% of extra time, we add 25% to 100%, which gives us 125%. So the total time he is given is 125% of 100 minutes, which is equal to 125 minutes. To convert this to hours, we divide 125 by 60, which gives us 2 1/12 hours. To convert 1/12 hours to minutes, we multiply 1/12 by 60, which gives us 5 minutes. So we have 2 hours, 5 minutes. The number of examinations that each of the 196 candidates takes is recorded in the table. Write down the range. To get the range, we subtract the highest number of examinations, which is 8, from the lowest number of examinations, which is 5. This gives us 3. Find the median. To get the position of the median, we apply the formula half n plus 1, where n in this case is 196. This gives us 98.5. This means the median is between the numbers in the 98th and 99th positions. To get the numbers in these positions, we start by adding the frequencies in the table. So 27 plus 42 is 69. 69 plus 63 is 132. This means the numbers in the 98th and 99th positions are both 7. So the median is 7 plus 7 divided by 2, which is 7. Calculate the mean. The mean is equal to the number of examinations taken by the candidate, which is 5 times 27 plus 6 times 42 plus 7 times 63 plus 8 times 64 divided by the total number of candidates, which is 196. When we type this into the calculator, we get 6.84 rounded to 3 significant figures. A candidate is selected at random. Find the probability that the candidate takes fewer than 8 examinations. This probability is equal to the number of candidates who take fewer than 8 examinations, which is 27 plus 42 plus 63, divided by the total number of candidates, which is 196. This gives us 33/49. 25 students go on a water sports trip. The students each choose their favorite water sports. These are the results. Complete the frequency table for the results. You may use the tally column to help you. From the results, the number of students who chose rafting is 5. The number of students who chose surfing is 8. The number of students who chose fishing is 4. The number of students who chose kayaking is 2. The number of students who chose snorkeling is 6. Write down the mode. The mode is the category with the highest frequency. The highest frequency is 8. The category with this frequency is surfing. Work out the percentage of students whose favorite water sport is snorkeling. To get this percentage, we divide the number of students who chose snorkeling as their favorite water sport, which is 6, by the total number of students, which is 25, and multiply by 100%. This gives us 24%. The table shows the times of the high and low tides. Write down the time of the second high tide on Wednesday using the 12-hour clock. On Wednesday, the second high tide is at 15:37. To get the equivalent time on the 12-hour clock, we subtract 12 hours from 15:37. This gives us 3:37 p.m. Work out the time between the two low tides on Thursday. On Thursday, the two low tides are at 9:41 and 22:07. To get the time duration, we subtract 9:41 from 22:07. Under the minute column, we can't subtract 41 from 7, so we get 1 hour from the hour column, which becomes 60 minutes under the minute column. So we have 67 minutes. 67 minus 41 is 26. Under the hour column, 21 minus 9 is 12, so we have 12 hours, 26 minutes. The surfing activity starts 1.5 hours before the high tide on Tuesday afternoon. Write down the time that the surfing activity starts. The high tide on Tuesday afternoon is at 14:22. 1.5 hours is 1 hour 30 minutes. So to get the time the surfing starts, we subtract 1 hour 30 minutes from 14:22. Under the minute column, we can't subtract 30 from 22. So we get 1 hour from the hour column, which becomes 60 minutes under the minute column. So we have 82 minutes. So 82 minus 30 is 52. Under the hour column, 13 minus 1 is 12. So we have 12:52. Some people go fishing and catch 4 types of fish. Some information is shown in the table. Complete the table. To get the sector angle for tuna, we subtract the sum of 120 degrees, 72 degrees, and 32 degrees from 360 degrees. This gives us 136 degrees. Before we get the number of herrings in tuna, let's find the total number of fish. We can use any of these sets to arrive at this value. Let's go with this set. So the sector angle, which is 120 degrees, equals the number of cods, which is 15, divided by the total number of fish, which we are calling T, times 360 degrees. When we make T the subject, we get T equals 45. So now the number of herrings, H, divided by 45 times 360 degrees equals 32 degrees. When we make H the subject, we get H equals 4. The number of tuna T divided by 45 times 360 degrees equals 136 degrees. When we make T the subject, we get T equals 17. Complete the pie chart. First, we start by measuring the sector angle for tuna, which is 136 degrees. The remaining angle, which is 32 degrees, would be for herring. Records show that 3/14 of all mallets caught are underweight. In one day, 168 mallets are caught. Work out the expected number of mallets that are underweight. To get this number, we multiply 3/14 by 168. This gives us 36. Write down the number 604,925 in words. Here is the number written in words. Write down a prime number between 50 and 60. One of the prime numbers in this range is 53. The other prime number is 59. Write down the value of 999 raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1. So 999 raised to the power 0 is 1. Find the smallest multiple of 7 that is greater than 100. This number is 105. 7 times 15 gives us 105. Find the largest cube number that is less than 100. This number is 64. 4 cubed gives us 64. Find the 6 factors of 45. We can get the factors of 45 by first listing the numbers that multiply to give us 45. From this, we see that the factors of 45 are 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, and 45. Find an irrational number between 6 and 7. An irrational number in this range is square root of 43. Anand, Rahul and Samir go from school to the park each day. One day, Anand cycles and Rahul walks. The travel graph shows their journeys. Work out the speed that Anand cycles. Give your answer in kilometers per hour. We can find his speed from the slope of his graph, which is the distance divided by the time. The distance he travels from the school to the park is 4 kilometers. Each line segment on the horizontal axis is 2 minutes. Since we have 6 boxes, then the time duration is 2 times 6, which is 12 minutes. To convert 12 minutes to hours, we divide 12 by 60. This gives us 20 kilometers per hour. Find the number of minutes that Anand arrives at the park before Rahul. Anand arrives at the park at this point and Rahul arrives at the park at this point. The number of horizontal line segments between these 2 points is 14. So the time duration is 2 times 14, which is 28 minutes. Samir cycles at the same speed as Anand. He arrives at the park at the same time as Rahul. Find the time that Samir leaves school. We are told that Samir arrives at the park the same time as Rahul. If Samir cycles at the same speed as Anand, then it means it also takes Samir 12 minutes to cycle to the park. 12 minutes covers 6 horizontal line segments, so Samir leaves school at 15:28. On another day, Anand cycles 2 kilometers to a bench and then walks the rest of the way to the park. The travel graph shows his journey. Write down the ratio minutes cycling is to minutes walking. Give your answer in its simplest form. We've been told Anand cycles from school to the bench. This line covers 3 horizontal line segments. Each horizontal line segment is 2 minutes, so the cycling time is 2 times 3, which is 6 minutes. Anand walks from the bench to the park. This line covers 10 horizontal line segments, so the walking time is 2 times 10, which is 20 minutes. So now we have 6 is to 20. 2 goes into 6 3 times and goes into 20 10 times. So we have 3 is to 10. Complete the travel graph for Rahul's journey to the park. We are told Rahul leaves school the same time as Anand, so that is this point. We are also told Rahul walks 2 kilometers to the bench at a constant speed of 6 kilometers per hour. To get the time duration for this journey, we divide the distance covered, which is 2 kilometers, by his speed, which is 6 kilometers per hour. This gives us 1/3 hours. To convert this to minutes, we multiply 1/3 by 60, which gives us 20 minutes. Each horizontal line segment is 2 minutes. So for 20 minutes, we count 10 horizontal line segments. And now that he is at the bench, we mark this as the next point. Then finally, we are told he then cycles the rest of the way to the park at a constant speed of 15 kilometers per hour. To get the time duration for this journey, we divide the distance he covers from the bench to the park, which is also 2 kilometers, by his speed, which is 15 kilometers per hour. This gives us 2/15 hours. To convert this to minutes, we multiply 2/15 by 60, which gives us 8 minutes. Each horizontal line segment is 2 minutes, so for 8 minutes, we count 4 horizontal line segments. And now that he is at the park, we mark this as the next point. Now we connect the points with straight lines. Use your travel graph to find the number of minutes that Anand arrives at the bench before Rahul. Anand arrives at the bench at this point and Rahul arrives at the bench at this point. There are 7 horizontal line segments between these 2 points. Since each horizontal line segment is 2 minutes, we multiply 7 by 2, giving us 14 minutes. Find the greatest distance between Anand and Rahul as they travel to the park. Above this line, the graph shows the journey of Anand and Rahul from the bench to the park. This line gives us the greatest distance between them during this journey. Each vertical line segment is 0.5 kilometers. This line covers almost 3 vertical line segments, so a good estimate would be 1.4 kilometers. The diagram shows 4 shapes A, B, C, and D drawn on a 1 cm square grid. Find the area of shape B. The grid is a 1 cm square grid, so each of the 3 squares in shape B have an area of 1 cm square. The area of each of the 2 triangles is half times 1 times 1 centimeter square, which is 0.5 centimeters squared. So for the area of shape B, we have 3 times 1 centimeter square plus 2 times 0.5 centimeters squared, which is equal to 4 centimeters squared. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. When we look at shape A and its image shape B, we can tell straight away that this is a rotation 90 degrees in the clockwise direction. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For this rotation, we see that this point remains fixed after the rotation, so that is the center of rotation. The point has coordinates 0, -2, and so the full description for the transformation is rotation 90 degrees clockwise about the center 0, -2. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape B onto shape C. When we look at shape B and its image shape C, we can tell straight away that this is a translation because both shapes have the same size and orientation. The only difference is that they are located on different parts of the grid. So now all we need to do is find the translation vector. From the illustration, we see that the translation vector is -4, 2. And so the full description for the transformation is translation by the vector -4, 2. Describe fully the single transformation that maps shape C onto shape D. When we look at shape C and D, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 2 because each of the sides of the image, which is shape D, is twice its corresponding side in shape C. We have a positive scale factor because shape C and D have the same orientation. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. We can get this by connecting at least 2 corresponding points on both shapes. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement. In this case, we get the center to be -2, -7. And so the full description for this transformation is enlargement by a scale factor of 2 about the center, -2, -7. On the grid, draw the image of shape D after a reflection in the line x equals -1. First, we draw the line of reflection, which is x equals -1. Then from here, we need to reflect the vertices of shape D in the line x equals -1. So for this point on shape D, since we move 1 unit to the right to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 1 unit to the right from the line of reflection to pin its new position. We need to repeat the same process for the rest of the vertices of shape D. When we are done, we are able to map out the reflected image of shape D. The scale drawing shows the positions of 2 towns, Yatterford and Rexley, on a map. The scale is 1 centimeter, represents 15 kilometers. Write the scale of the map in the form 1:n. We've been given the scale to be 1 centimeter is to 15 kilometers. To convert 15 kilometers to centimeters, we multiply 15 by 10 raised to the power 5. 15 times 10 raised to the power 5 is 1,500,000. So we have 1:1,500,000. Work out the actual distance of Rexley from Yatterford. On the scale drawing, when we measure the distance between Rexley and Yatterford, we get 6.4 centimeters. So now we can get the actual distance, which we are calling x, using the given scale conversion. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to 96 kilometers. Measure the bearing of Rexley from Yatterford. This bearing is the angle measured in the clockwise direction from the north of Yatterford to Rexley. Using a protractor, when we measure this angle, we get 117 degrees. On the map, construct and shade the region in which the hospital is to be built. We are told the hospital is to be built on an area of land between 45 kilometers and 60 kilometers from Yatterford. Using the scale conversion, 45 kilometers maps to 3 centimeters and 60 kilometers maps to 4 centimeters on the scale drawing. First, measuring our compasses to a width of 3 centimeters, we stand at Yatterford and construct a circle. Then measuring the width of the compass to be 4 centimeters, we stand at the same point and construct another circle. We are also told the bearing of the hospital from Yatterford is between 250 degrees and 295 degrees. So using a protractor, we measure an angle of 250 degrees in the clockwise direction from the north of Yatterford. Then we measure an angle of 295 degrees in the same direction from the same point. The shaded region, which is between 3 centimeters and 4 centimeters and between 250 degrees and 295 degrees, is where the hospital is to be built. The bearing of Bartown from Whitestoke is 73 degrees. Work out the bearing of Whitestoke from Bartown. In the illustration, we have indicated the bearing of Bartown from Whitestoke, which has been given as 73 degrees. We've also indicated the bearing of Whitestoke from Bartown, which is what we are finding. These two are interior angles. Interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So to get this angle, we subtract 73 degrees from 180 degrees, which gives us 107 degrees. Angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. So to get the bearing of W from B, we subtract 107 from 360, which is equal to 253 degrees. A shop sells pens and notebooks. The cost of a pen is P cents and the cost of a notebook is N cents. On Monday, the shop sells 5 pens and 4 notebooks for 450 cents. Complete the equation. From the given information, this value is 450. On Tuesday, the shop sells 10 pens and 3 notebooks for 525 cents. Write this information as an equation. Similar to the previous solution, we can write this as 10p plus 3n equals 525. Solve your two equations to find the cost of a pen and the cost of a notebook. You must show all your working. First, let's label the two equations. We will be using the elimination method. We want to eliminate p, so we multiply equation 1 by 2. This gives us 10p plus 8n equals 900, which we've labeled as equation 3. Now that we have 10p in equation 2 and equation 3, we can eliminate p by subtracting equation 2 from equation 3. This gives us 5n equals 375. When we divide both sides by 5, we get n equals 75. Now we can get the value of p by plugging in the value of n into any of the equations. If we pick equation 1, we have 5p plus 4 times 75 equals 450. 4 times 75 is 300. When we subtract 300 from both sides, we have 5p equals 150. And when we divide both sides by 5, we get p equals 30. 7 students want to join the school diving club. Some information about these students is recorded in the table below. Write down the names of the students who can join the club. We are told to join the club, a student must be at least 12 years old in March 2018. From the table, the students that are 12 years or older in March 2018 are Aj, Kala, Elu, and Gani. We are also told the student must be at least 150 centimeters tall. 150 centimeters is 1.5 meters. From these students, Gani does not have a height of at least 1.5 meters, so we take Gani out. We are also told the students must be able to swim at least 0.5 kilometers. 0.5 kilometers is 500 meters. From the students we now have, Aj is not able to swim at least 500 meters, so we take Aj out. We are left with Kala and Elu, who satisfy all the 3 criteria. The students dive off boards of different heights. The speed s meters per second that they enter the water from a board of height h meters can be found using this formula. Calculate the value of s when h is 10. When we plug in h equals 10 into the formula, this is what we get, which is equal to 14. Make h the subject of the formula. When we square both sides, we have s squared equals 19.6h. And when we divide both sides by 19.6, we get h equals s squared over 19.6. A, B, C, and D are 4 equations of straight line graphs. Write down the letter of the graph that passes through the point 1, -1. To find the graph that passes through this point, we need to plug in x equals 1 into the equation of the graphs to see which gives us y equals -1. Or we can plug in y equals -1 to see which gives us x equals 1. For graph C, when we plug in x equals 1, we get y equals -1. Write down the letter of the graph that has a y-intercept of 4. All the straight line graphs have been expressed in the form y equals mx plus c. So the y-intercept is the constant term. So for graph A, the y-intercept is 4. Write down the letter of the graph that has a gradient of -4. All the straight line graphs have been expressed in the form y equals mx plus c. So the gradient is the coefficient of the x term. So for graph D, the gradient is -4. The point P -26 lies on the line y equals -3x plus 4. Work out the value of P. The value of P is the x-coordinate on the line when the y-coordinate is -26. So we have -26 equals -3p plus 4. When we make 3p the subject, we get 3p equals 30. When we divide both sides by 3, we get p equals 10. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 10x. When we plug in x equals -3 into the equation, we get y equals 39. For x equals 0, we get y equals 0. And for x equals 9, we get y equals -9. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus 10x. For x is greater than and equal to -6 and less than and equal to 15. So on the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Write down the coordinates of the lowest point of the graph. On the grid, we see that the coordinate of this point is 4.6, -26. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.